Thank you, and I want to thank particularly our tribal leaders that have traveled here today. I think each of you, different fact patterns, different scenarios, but the common thread here is these are matters that have been pending at issue for years and years, and now the opportunity to finally address them through legislation is what brings you here before the committee. Some of these matters can be addressed administratively, and as has been noted with the legislation that we just advanced in the business meeting prior to this hearing, we recognize that we have the need to step up with putting some of these fixes into statute. But Chairwoman Cuellar, you mentioned the backlog at BIA for land into trust applications as a reason why the tribe has sought legislation. And I want to ask, I want to direct this question to you, Ms. Locke, at the department. Just speaking to the issue of the backlog, I noted that you, Chairwoman Charles, were nodding your head in agreement when the statement was made about the length of time. Can you share with the committee what your understanding of the backlog is right now? How long the applications are typically taking to make it through the administrative process?
Thank you for your question, Senator. There is an 862 pending fee to trust case currently being processed by BIA regional offices and contract and compact tribal staff. We recognize fee to trust can be a long process, and the department strives to continually improve the time it takes to process necessary land transactions. In 2024, DOI updated 25 CFR Part 151, which governs land acquisitions by the United States and trust status for individual Indians and tribes. The updated process reduced the average time of processing land into trust applications from over 1,000 days in fiscal year 2022 to 650 days currently. The goal remains processing land into trust applications in 365 days or less.
So you're making progress, and you admit that you have not yet reached your goal. I acknowledge that. When you speak to the backlog being 862 applications in front of you, is that average? Is that high? I mean, it seems like a lot to me, particularly considering how long these are taking.
Yes, that it is a little high.
And so if the backlog is high, you're making progress in reducing the time period which it takes to process the applications. Is it staffing? Is it resourcing to the department? What would allow you to address these applications in a more timely manner? Legislation is not quick either. We get that, but I think sometimes you have to move to legislation because you just feel like you're spinning your wheels through a never-ending administrative process.
Thank you, Senator, for your question. I do not have the specifics at this time, but I will get that for you.
Well, know that as I'm dual-hatted here. I'm not only chairman of the Indian Affairs Committee, I'm also chairman of the Interior Appropriations. And so this is right in our account. And if it is failure to adequately resource, whether again it's positions, we need to be making the difference. I think we've put a little fire under the department on the matter of probate. I don't know if within your regions you have the same challenges in terms of unnecessarily lengthy probate, but I think we've got the Secretary's attention to it, and certainly that of the of Secretary Kirkland as we are looking at this. So sometimes we just need to be knowing how we can lean in with you and know that we want to do that. I also wanted to ask you, Ms. Locke, on S1508. So very clear what Chairwoman Gonzalez was outlining here in terms of the jurisdiction, granting the state civil jurisdiction over these Indian lands. Now, you've said that the department is not taking a position on the legislation. Can you share what the hesitation or the concern is? Is there possibly a concern that this is precedent-setting for other tribes or states that are seeking civil jurisdiction over Indian lands? What's the department's position on this?
Senator, thank you for your question. The department is supportive of this bill, as tribal governments are in the best position to determine the use of lands. We do not take a position on jurisdictional provisions of the bill. We understand that the band supports the bill, and we defer to them on questions surrounding the specific jurisdictional provisions and dispute resolution.
So would the department oppose the bill going forward then?
Thank you, Senator. I understand this is an important issue, as many tribes are interested in this leasing authority. The department is supportive of the two leasing bills before the committee. Again, the department does not take a position on the jurisdiction provisions, but understand that the band is here today and would be best to speak on those details.
Okay, I'm still not sure what position the department would take. As we try to advance measures out of the committee, it is important what the agencies have to say, and so we'll be working with you further on this. Let me ask one more question here regarding technical assistance. With regards to any of the bills that have been presented here of the four, are there any changes or technical amendments the department recommends that we consider for any of these bills at this time?
Senator, thank you for your question. The department is supportive of the bills before the committee today, and the department would be happy to provide technical assistance if required.
Okay, well, we will look forward to doing that. This is a question directed to you, Chairman Whedon. We've talked about the benefits of the 99-year lease authority, and you have outlined in your testimony why this is a priority. Is there anything that your tribe is looking at right now in terms of pursuing that would require this authority be in place sooner than later?
Thank you for that question, Chairwoman. We are looking at several opportunities for economic development on our lands. Having this authority in place provides greater flexibility and options when exploring these opportunities. I think we heard from majority of the panel about the housing costs and expenses, and that is both an issue for not only the Mashpee Wampanoag tribe, but the Aquinnah Wampanoag tribe as well.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. And I'm looking through my list of questions here. Again, I think what has been outlined in terms of the history that we have heard on these matters has been good and comprehensive, not only in your oral statement today, but what you have provided to the committee. So these are matters that we will advance for full consideration. I know that we have members that are kind of coming and going throughout the day. I don't think you should take it as a reflection of lack of interest in your particular issue, but as we're trying to close out at the end of the year, there were probably 4 or 5 different committees, as well as 2 floor votes that were going on. So we will allow for our colleagues here to submit follow-up questions for the record. We're going to hold that open for a couple weeks, so don't be surprised if you get more questions directed to you from either other members of the committee or from myself or the vice chair here. So I thank you all for being here today, for traveling. I appreciate 3,000 miles. I understand you got some blizzard going on in Seattle. Clear it up before I try to go back to Alaska, because I have to go through. Yeah, we'll see one another out there. But I thank you all, and thank you for your participation today. This hearing is adjourned.